my first question will be like, please introduce yourself, which industry you are working and what you do, whatever you want to tell about yourselves.
Uh-huh. First of all, hi Dinesh. It's really pleasure to meet you after such a long time. So I'm a friend of you. I had been known to you for almost, I think, close to 10 years now.
Yeah.
I'm Gurupyari Dwivedi. I'm VP Vice President at ABiz Corporation. We had been working with this company for almost 7 years. Prior to this, I was with Computer Science Corporation, CSC, which is now DXC. And that's where we met. And I'm really glad we met.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, anything more you want to tell about yourself, what you are doing, or what your profile is? Anything?
Uh-huh. So as I said, I'm vice president at this particular private organization. It's a contract management consulting and services. We primarily provide end-to-end contract management support to our different global clients. We had been providing these services for almost 7 years. This is, you can say, I'm also a co-founder at ABiz Corporation. I primarily take care of service delivery, ensuring all the client projects are delivered timely and with the highest quality. I also ensure the overall operations of the company is kind of, going smoothly. And it's not
That
just
much is enough.
in
Yeah, this is enough. Like,
not global level. Uh-huh.
So, next question is, what made you want to learn from me, or what was the reason of your starting learning about finance from me, if you did learn about finance from me?
So I would not say, it was a any kind of cautious decision of learning anything or, getting into a class and knowing about each and everything. But, when we started interacting, it was, I think, a very organic conversation that we got into, wherein, it was more of just generally asking, do you have any kind of investment? Do you have your own property?
During those cabs,
So
like return cabs, like from CSC, like that's where we used to interact.
Yeah, during our commutation from our prior organization. So at that time, I think, it was more of just understanding, around these property matters. And I remember our first conversation was around, do you have, a property? Or at that time, I think we were having this concern or dispute going on with a particular property. So
Yeah, I remember that.
And that's when we started having that conversation. And at that time, I got my first lesson, I would say, from you as a kind of, advisor, if I may say so. Though at that time, it was more of a colleague and a friend. But, knowing that before you buy a property, always make sure that it is a ready to move. It's not something which is, you are investing and you will get it after 5 years or 7 years. So that was a huge lesson that I learned, because at that time we were too new. We just got married and we were just looking for some, place to live forever and all. In fact, you also advised that, rather than really buying your own property, it's better to, keep it on rent, and have the return on investment from that perspective.
Correct.
So those were some of the very basic tips, I would say, that that I learned as we had little conversations.
It was organic growth. Basically, like we kept on knowing each other, and then you came to know about my interest in finance, and finally you started like taking more advice. It was very organic growth. Cool.
I agree.
So did learning from me, whatever like organic way learning, it provided you what you wanted or what you expected?
I think yes, because I remember back then, I know you were working, I was working. So maybe, as a full-time, you were not able to advise, but I really came to know these basics, as I mentioned earlier. Plus, I remember you also offered that, we can have a detailed conversation. And that's when I remember I brought in my, one of my friends as well to your place. And we sat and we discussed about some of the basics of the investments, as a
Yeah.
salaried person that we can do. I would say yes, it was really beneficial because, for me, who is really a novice, I would say, from a financial perspective, you ask me anything about contracts, maybe I can be an expert, but, ask me about finance, maybe, it doesn't really sink in very well. So we always look for someone who can explain you the basics, who can tell you these things in a very easy to understand kind of, mechanism. So that's the part that I think I really liked when I interacted with you.
Good. Yeah. Thank you. So, for whatever you learned from me, what is the value or benefit you got out of it?
Again, understanding, I can say, because unless until you understand some of the things, the basic things, you won't be able to build upon it. So I got an understanding of some of the basic stuff, what are the things to really look into. And then at least you can logically and, intelligently, you can ask questions even when, let's say, you are with a bank person or you are with a SIP, person or mutual fund
insurance agent, maybe, yeah.
Insurance agents, these people, when they are talking to you, sometimes so many of the stuff you just don't know.
Jargons that they use.
Yeah, all these jargons you would not even understand. So at least I was in a position that, I can talk intelligently because I knew that, there are these different components that may relate to the basics.
I hope it makes you feel more confident now. Like you may not be like 100% like where you want to be, but still like you would have much improved like over the time.
Yeah, and that's what kind of, I meant, because if you have your basics clear, you start feeling more confident. You are in a position to interact with, some of the post office people or bank people, insurance people. So, that's what you get. Of course, there is a long way to go. Finance is not a small area that you can just learn in couple of meetings and couple of days. So yes, there is a long way to go, and I'm sure I'll be continuing to learn from you. I'll continue to get more ideas and advices in the future.
Yeah, and I feel very happy like working with you because I have seen women usually not taking control of their finances, and unless they take a control, like that's very disenabling factor. Because if you don't have finances in control, you don't have that power, and if you have your finances in control, not 100%, maybe whatever control you can have, it will increase your confidence. So that way, if I have contributed in women and empowerment a little bit, I will be happy for that.
Definitely. And I think there is definitely this one area. I think this area, finance, this finance area, legal area, these are some of the areas that I always think that can collaborate and, contribute hugely in anyone's life, especially if it is females. So I think these two areas, if you know about your rights, if you know about your finances, you can empower anyone, and especially women.
Yeah, they don't have to like feel helpless basically. It will feel them more powerful and confident. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Good.
agree. I totally agree.
So if someone is going to consider getting coaching from me about money management, and he's in like not able to decide, what would you tell that person?
Definitely. As I said, I got benefited. So at least someone should try and understand. I would refer to those persons to you. And at least they should have a trial kind of, session or a trial conversation with you just to understand what they will benefit out of having a simple conversation with you.
Fine. Thank you. And if you have to use one word to describe my process or my knowledge or the kind of learning that I give, what will be that one word?
Smart.
Hmm? Smart?
Smart.
Okay, okay. Yeah, thanks a lot. And anything
Okay.
else you want to share about like your learning experience with me? Anything from your side, like freehand? So you can please add.
See, for me, you are more of a I you are definitely an acquaintance and then who gradually became a friend and now a long-term, long tenured friend. But I have always looked up to you as an intelligent, matured person. So anyone who is intelligent and then matured, but at the same time who also understands finance, it can be really a deadly combination. So definitely I look forward to, learning more and understanding more on and around finances from you.
Cool. Yeah, thanks a lot. Like that's all